Zach, can we... We need to talk. Alone.
I can't help him right now. I gotta finish the stuff I've already started for others.
I want to keep investigating. Remember what we found in the archives? The secret military shit and Eos Kazma?
Yeah. So how do you want to do this?
We gotta find a way to get into the military archives in Ophir and steal some files.
We don't even know where these files are, Amelia. But maybe I know someone who could point us in the right direction. Eliza Major, my former captain, would have access to all of them.
Ask her to read them and tell us what the hell's in there then. After that, we just gotta get back to the rover and make trails for Eos Kazma.
That road must have been taken dozens of times, Amelia. If your father was there, we'd have found him by now.
That's not true, Zach. Nobody takes that road anymore. Not with the shadow paths. There's no reason to take the rovers that way since the area's already been mapped out. All he wanted was to find that kid. We should take that road, Zach. Please.
Can't help him right now. I gotta finish the stuff I've already started for others.
We're lucky that scum in Phobos managed to stop Cain. That crazy zealot would have led us to the grave.
Look around, please. Look around.
So, we're off to find a friend of yours, are we? And yet, you still look unmanned. She's sick? If so, you know, I could tend to her. I have that.
No, Scott. No, she's not sick. It's just... I'm unsure of... Never mind. Sorry. It's too complicated to explain, honestly. Gloria, you are... Oh no.
Nisha, don't stay here. You shouldn't.
Zach, I'm not a child. Let me listen. I have to know. I have to... Nisha, I heard that you had left Ophir, that you come back here often now. I know that I won't be able to see you and tell you all this in person. I don't have the courage for it. So I hope that someone will give you this message, that you will listen to this and that you will forgive me. I did something awful, something that haunts me every day, every instant, something with which I cannot live today. You have always been strong, so much more brilliant, prettier. And me, I was in your shadow, and I felt that I was suffocating. So I went to see a man, a thief. I knew that he could plant false evidence and that he turned in people to the ASC. I said that you knew some things about their trafficking, that you were dangerous to them. And it worked. Too well, because they came to arrest our whole group. And during all those years spent with you in the camp, I knew that we were here because of me. When I saw how they were torturing you, when Nick died, I also wanted to die, but they refused. Today, I still carry the weight of my mistake and I can't bear it anymore. So farewell, Nisha. Farewell and forgive me. Your sister, Gloria.
I'm sorry, Nisha. Come on, let's go. I'll take care of the funeral. Don't worry.
I am. Oh, my heart breaks for you, Nisha.
I'll be all right, Scott. I wanted to thank you for all your help, Zach. Not saying I needed it or, you know, but having you beside me and all. It was, it made it, it's just, you're a good guy, Zach. And it doesn't hurt that the good guy's got a face like yours. Maybe, you know, later, if you had time, we could meet up. Just the two of us.
I'd be lying if I didn't think that was a great idea. Next break we have.
Good. Then I'll be seeing you in your room soon. Clothing's optional. Zach, want some company?
If it's yours.
I think I'm falling in love.
I may be too.
Zachariah, what can I do for you?
You told me you learned where Scott was from mutants. You mind if I talk to them? Like to find out exactly what they saw.
Have suspicions about your friend, Zachariah? Sorry. None of my business, really. You can find them in Mutant Valley. They only passed through here to pass on some information to me, including the little tidbit about your friend.
Thanks. I'm gonna go find him.
Valley, here we come.
Someone sounds excited.
Well, duh, the landscape's drop-dead gorgeous. As for the city, integrating with the valley's natural overhangs and alcoves to avoid using a metal dome, pure genius. Makes me worry about getting fried. And we'll always be strangers there.
For now, most mutants don't have an innate hatred for humans. We just need to give them time to heal.
Still, we'll never be able to walk a mile in their shoes. And for that, we'll always be outsiders. I ain't mad though. If I were them, it'd be my personal mission to fuck up every single humanoid who said good day to me.
Don't stress out about the roof. You won't be instantly mutated. I have heard tales. But yeah, what a beautiful place. Natural, organic, how refreshing. Humans should take notes.
This city makes me sad.
You're not gonna cry, are ya? I just had these seats cleaned.
I mean, I think I would have liked to, know before of its existence. It's all right. Sad is too grandiose. Wistful, yes, wistful. By Jove, I've done it.
What a glorious day. Phobos, chosen to be the great orator. He will surely just...
Hey,
Hello. How are you?
someone told me about you, so I wanted to come say thanks. Your instructions helped me save my friend.
I'm just happy you got there in time. We would have helped ourselves, but feared letting humans know free mutants roam around.
Don't blame you. You see what led to all of that? By the time I got there, they tortured my friend, and the Technomancer in charge was leaving.
Why do you not ask your friend?
Because I already told him what happened, honestly, Zachariah. I am glad, though, that you have extended your thanks to the mutant. A nice gesture. One I should probably follow. Yes, I should have been the one to thank you right off.
It was done because it was the right thing to do. I am happy you're alive, but I must go now.
That was weird. It was like you being here embarrassed him.
What? Why would I be the cause of any such embarrassment?
Maybe because he didn't help you himself. Maybe he was ashamed. Hey, did you tell me what happened now?
Your friend, I would think no more than I.
Sure, Sure, I'll talk to him then. Maybe come back later to talk to you, without him.
Zachariah, you look good. Better than I. As if that was hard to accomplish.
Hey, did you tell me what happened now?
I just did not feel comfortable talking in front of your friend. I did not want him to relive the trauma. What happened was strange, and I'm afraid he paid dearly.
What was it?
Found himself surrounded by the Technomancer and his soldiers, who wanted to know where they could find a man named Zachariah. You, I suppose.
What did he tell him?
Not the answer you are scared he gave. He said nothing of your location. Instead, he told this other Technomancer that he knew who he was, but it did not seem to matter. The question was asked again. This time your friend screamed back that he knew who he was, and that they must listen to him. That is when they began to beat him, and he began to scream for mercy. Mercy that would not come, even as he screamed that he could do something for them. The violence only grew. That is when we ran toward Dandolo. What he was offering to do for them, I do not know. He never said. But it did not matter anyway. All they wanted to know was where you were. Nothing else to them mattered. The torture lasted for hours. Your friend may be not all there, but his loyalty cannot be doubted.
Thanks. And thank you for going to Dandolo.
Of course.
Scott, thanks for coming. Please have a seat. I'm just trying to understand something.
Ah, a scientific query. Let us engage.
No, not quite. I just wanted to understand what you were doing with Alan under that shadow path. A couple mutants saw you and said you told Alan that you knew what he was, and that you could do... Of course, the jackass didn't give a damn. All he wanted to know was where we were. But what the hell were you trying to do, Scott?
Do? I wasn't doing. I was doing something, but not what... There are opportunities in life. He might have become an ally, a great technomancer. Even if you're not friends, he could... I was... a mistake.
Scott, how long have we known each other? How much do I owe you? You're like a father to me. You know that. And you could tell me anything.
Yes, and you like a more than a son, without all the messiness of diapers and all of... I am just a stupid, silly old man, Zachariah. It is a rather laborious story, some of which you know, some of which it was 17 years ago, with our corporation's unparalleled obsession with the perfect man. I found myself ensconced in gene research. My son, my flesh and blood son. I loved that child, cherished him like nothing else, but my work stole time from him, more and more, and when he was diagnosed with symptoms of the mutation, I disintegrated. As the best geneticist in abundance, I ensconced myself in research of its genome, discovering its mutation, and I heard whispers of tests the settlers had made, because they, too, had been coping with the chaotic mutative effects of the radiation. So, my friend, Mark, delivered me to a distant city, remote, nearly unlivable. I stayed there, poring through their documents until one day, I uncovered their work on a therapy which had only a singular side effect.
It modified the human body's electrical production.
Precisely. Technomancers are the result of a controlled genetic manipulation, mutations instigated to protect us from more erratic mutations created by the radiation, a discovery I found myself racing to try out on my son. But first, I needed test subjects. So I volunteered to heal children in the slums. Found 2 young boys there to test its efficacy. And lo and behold, it worked.
Andrew and me.
Yes. Your abilities were gained thanks to my experiments, but that was not all that was gained. I had proof that I could replicate the therapy, and that, you know, now, could resist other forms of mutations. From there, well, I secured a research budget from the military, who in turn assured me they would return my son. But for him, it was too late. The experiment failed to help him, and I found myself with little choice but to end his suffering, rather than see him in a life of slavery, the life of a monster. And to the military, because I could not yet reveal what I knew, as I knew not yet what you were to become. Saw only my failure. I lost everything, found myself socially exiled. And when Andrew's death came, you, Zachariah, became my only chance for success, my only chance to regain my past glory. So I kept close to you for all these years, until you finally became a Technomancer. My success. A chance for me to win back my approval. Glory within abundance. I would be the man who created Technomancers. We needed to escape. By seeing Alan, I had hoped to fix that. That they might take you back, and in turn, I might... Madness had overtaken me. Greed. Instead of being proud of my success in you, I only wanted more and more, and Forgive me.
Leave me alone. Please. Hey, Brad.
Zachariah, how's the hunting?
I've got your last specimen.
Tell me you did! The shield-toed skin. Wonderful. Oh, what you have done for science. You are invaluable. I am forever indebted. You've given me years of study, and when I finally publish, you, my friend, will find your name in the acknowledgments.
Zachariah, what can I do for you?
I need allies to fight Viktor and the ASC.
Then you came to the right place. The bastard came to our doorstep and threatened us. Sent thugs to capture one of our own who came in peace, seeking refuge. There's not a day that goes by that he doesn't grab and gain more power. The time's come to bring Viktor down. You not only have me on your side, Mancer, but all of Noctis.
You, sir, just came at a fortunate time. I just stocked new merchandise.
Greetings, Zachariah.
I think it's time I answered Viktor's constant attacks. I'm gonna need help, though.
That's what family is for, Zachariah. We are family, united by the mutual suffering inflicted by Viktor. His time to pay for all he's done has come. We are united in that.
Now that we are at full strength, we must devise a way to compromise Viktor's popularity at the Assembly.
I've got a lead. There's this grizzled old general who's been bitching about the lack of info he gets about Aurora. Right now, he's the only one with the balls to call Viktor the Dictator incompetent. According to him, the Aurora Dowser's down shit creek and may have been booted off his post. If we can prove that General is right and isn't just some senile old man, maybe the Army's head honchos will be pissed enough at the Colonel to kick his buns in the sun.
But we would need hard evidence.
I'm almost positive that Dandolo can help us. Noctis sends merchants everywhere, after all.
We also have some connections with Technomancers over there. They should be able to tell us what happened.
We could try Anton. Aurora's a little far, but there's no place that's safe from Anton's little birds.
It's a start.
Even if abundance is run from the top down, members of the Assembly would pay attention to uprisings. Some of your local allies could help you stir up some anger in the masses. The ASC has made their lives miserable for months. People are arrested on a whisper, live huddled in fear. It would not take much to spark the powder keg.
It's a good idea, but we can't influence entire populations by ourselves. We'd need allies hidden among the people.
Back when I was an artist, I got into some altercations with Assembly members who thought my shows were blasphemy. Maybe it was because I didn't say hail to the shadow 50 times. I can't say for sure, but if we could get them to think that Viktor isn't a devout believer, we could get the large religious sect of the Assembly to revoke their support and demand his banishment. Or we could just give them a little nudge in the right direction by making them believe Viktor steals relics for his own use.
We'd have to stage an elaborate setup, but I like it. After all, the trickster must get what he gives. We'll need volunteers that can pretend to be ASC. The plan is right up Anton's alley. It's possible for Dandolo or the opposition to help us out too.
One last thing. I was told the High Judge endorses all of Viktor's decisions, even though I know for a fact that he hates him, which is more than a bit strange. The judge is such an honest man.
Or if you're in the mood to make a scandal, I've got everything we need. Did you know that Viktor employs young women to worm out information on men he keeps tabs on? And I'm not Viktor, but I have a feeling he used that info to blackmail these same men. If we can prove it, the Assembly would have a major meltdown. Their beloved colonel, a pimp? To find evidence of his trafficking, we could look for the orders he gave his goons. Have you seen his hands? Far too immaculate to be doing this dirty work himself.
Back in my days as an officer, I ran into a band of girls, and I think this exploited girls topic may interest them. Maybe enough for them to help us.
Indeed. How's this? I've heard that a small faction of the Assembly blindly backs up Viktor, no matter how crazy the project is. So I believe it almost certain that their chief of this faction was bribed. So unless we bribe him ourselves, we'll have to silence him.
It's not ideal, but I have no way of finding out what dirt the ASC has on that man. We'll have to go without his support, and hope we can get enough voters elsewhere.
All these ideas will indeed cut off Viktor from his support network.
But
this is going to sound self-interested, but if we could help the mutants escape from the pen, it would expedite the Colonel's downfall. The people and the Assembly would be outraged to know that after decades of civilized control, Viktor was the one who couldn't keep them in check. I'd like to see the Colonel try to justify his mistake of so many slaves, particularly ones notorious for their feeble minds.
no, it's not selfish. It's a good plan. We're gonna help mutants in the pen prepare their escape. After a mass breakout like that, his reputation will never be the same. Thank you, all of you, for the ideas. Now let's make them happen.
Greetings, Zachariah.
Rumor is Aurora's dowser was deposed. I need to know it's more than rumor, though. If it's true, we might be able to convince some members of the Assembly that Viktor needs to go.
Even though I don't like the idea of continuing the conflict between Abundance and Aurora that has caused so much suffering, if it's what needs to be done to dethrone Viktor, I have a few contacts among Aurora's Technomancers. They're not quite brothers, but they're at least like cousins. And I've heard their messengers nearly always follow one particular shadow path. Let me show you. This one here. If you go, you may be able to stop one of their couriers. If the news you're expecting is as important as you say, I'm sure it will be in the documents they are carrying.
Thanks, Melvin.
Zachariah, I've received a message from Dandolo. He has some information on the disappearance of patients.
Really? Did he learn where he was taken?
The ASC had him locked up in an old dome near Ophir. In his message, he says that it's a dome that Technomancers used to use. Does this sound familiar to you?
Hard to forget. Yes. That's where initiations would take place before a mantis destroyed everything. We'll have to go free him. The place must be teeming with soldiers fighting for Viktor. But we can't leave the old Technomancer in their hands. Square one.
Damn, that's weird. But I thought the dome was in ruins. So then, where'd they put that old geezer?
There should be a few standing structures next to the ones that collapsed, unless they've already started clearing the rubble.
That sounds like bad news.
It would be. There were secrets in those ruins. I would rather have stayed buried, especially from the ASC.
That's the problem with secrets. All that time spent worrying about someone finding out, it's a burden that turns into a habit, that turns into obsession. I know you're just as scared about what's in the dome as what patience might reveal. I just hope the old man's still holding on. He's as stubborn as an unfed ostrich. But I don't know if it'll be enough in the hands of the ASC.
Poor Patience. He thought he was finally safe in Noctis. Instead, we threw him straight back into Viktor's arms.
What do you mean? We saved him from that camp.
It's just, we must have attracted the attention of Viktor's spies when we asked Dandolo to keep an eye on him. He was supposed to be just another nobody in Noctis, but our request ended up selling him out.
These thugs, more like cavemen with bigger sticks, don't understand respect, science, age, or knowledge. Any problem they can't solve, they'll use torture. What's 2 plus 2? I don't know. Let's torture the mathematician and find out. Ugly brutes. If they take power in abundance, they'll turn it into a Darwinistic jungle. A whole group of psychopaths, wanting to take control of everything through mindless violence.
Sounds like this story hits close to home.
It's true. I understand what that poor Technomancer must be going through. Pain. So, I hope we find him soon.
This is where you were initiated.
Yeah, but the dome was in better condition. The ASC weren't here. There was a giant mantis, though.
A giant mantis? Don't tell me that was part of the initiation.
No, the area had decoys dressed as thieves. The monsters were unplanned. Though I learned a lot from the experience. If it weren't for my master, I would have died down there.
Must be strange coming back. All the memories.